Okay, today we're going to talk about adding two of the four required elements here. You have to do two of four of these. So these are kind of the weird functions. Trigonometric, let's look at that one first. Trigonometric, a basic one might be sine of x here. So if you have sine of x, uh-oh, my calculator looks to be in the wrong mode. Let me go to settings here and change the geometry angle maybe to radian. See if that works. No, that didn't work. Go to settings again. Graphing angle, let's make it radian. There we go. Okay, so if it looks kind of like that, I'm going to change the color. Right click on it. Again, that's and choose color. That would be right click on a Mac is two finger click or command click. So if you grab it near the middle here, it'll kind of move it. Do you see how it kind of matches this tail here? I'm going to kind of put it to the middle of where that tail is, somewhere around there. And if you grab the near the top of the crest of the wave there, you can kind of change the wave into something that you might be interested in. And so at some point, like it looks like I've got a pretty good match there for at least part of the tail here. I may have to do a little bit of that with a parabola, but this is a nice fit here. So maybe from x is 2 all the way up to, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6, maybe 5.8. So if I double click it, hit the vertical bar, control, the key above enter there. So I think it was something like 2 less than x less than, I don't know, 5.8 or something. And if you're happy with that, then you can just keep it. Again, hide the label, right click on it, hide the label. So that would be a trigonometric function. It's pretty easy to find a curve that would fit at least a little part of that trig function. Logarithmic's a little bit tougher. So let's look at the basic log graph. Let's enter as a function. I think that would be fine to do. So graph entry function, log of x. So this is what I log graph. It looks kind of like this curve right here for Mickey's arm. I might be able to fit it to that potentially. So maybe I could just kind of move this up a little bit. So moving something up would be adding 1 or something. Oh, that's a little too much. Adding 0.65, I don't know. And maybe you have a little piece of that will fit. You can also, by the way, just for fun, if you wanted to move it left or right, like this would move it 3 to the right. So all your transformations that you know work with that, but I'm pretty happy with the little piece of that arm right there. So maybe x from 1 to 3.2. So again, double click it. 1 less than x less than 3.2 or something until I'm happy with that piece. And I've now used a logarithm graph. I'm pretty happy about that. I can fill in some parabolas, which are much easier to work with than those. Hyperbola. So we can put a hyperbola in there. So I would definitely enter that as a relation. Maybe you see a little piece, like I see maybe this as a piece of a hyperbola here. So boy, this is really hard to judge. Hyperbolas are probably one of the toughest here. So I'm going to enter as a relation for sure. I'm just going to enter a generic one. So kind of x squared. But let me put a fraction here. X squared over 3 minus, I definitely want horizontal, y squared over 4, that's 1. So I can move the center of that to match. Ooh, that's not too bad. So I feel like I have a little piece of that can match right there. And so that might be the only piece I'll use from maybe y is negative 1.2 to maybe y equals 0. So I'm going to double click and put a vertical bar there. Maybe negative 1.2 less than y less than 0. hide that guy. The only problem right now is I have this little piece over here, which I really don't want. So I'm going to put my cursor right after the 0. This is important, by the way. Hit space and space x is greater than negative 4. I'm not sure. And now I only have that little piece right there. So I have a little piece of the hyperbola. That's enough for this project. You just need 2 of the 4 of these. Cubic is a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to put that as a function. So graph entry function. Type in a generic cubic, x to the 3rd. You see is this kind of a look to it. It is not movable like a parabola is. So let's say I wanted to get that maybe up there where the thumb is. So I need to move it maybe 2 to the left and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So let's try to move this 2 to the left and 5 up. So to move it left, x plus 2, I guess. And then to move it up, plus 5. And it looks like I need to move it maybe a little bit more up from there. Maybe up 5.4. And if I'm happy with that, then I'm going to go and restrict the x values there. So negative 2.5 to say negative 2. So negative 2.5 less than x less than to negative 2. And again, I'm restricting x values because this is a function. Y values if it was a relation. And if you're happy with that piece, that counts as a cubic function. So you don't have to have the whole function. You can restrict it and just use little pieces. That is how to use those 4 specific functions there.